Amy Porterfield just made a huge announcement. DCA, which she has been selling for 14 years, she will not launch it anymore. Amy is talking about and doing exactly what I help women like you do. I'm going to break it down to my empire framework, which is the path to becoming a time billionaire. It all comes down to be a time billionaire. I'm not there yet. I'm very honest with everybody, but this is what I'm working to be. What's a time billionaire? The way I look at it is actually that you have time to be with your family. What is the point of life if you can't be with the people that you love? I'm going to break it down because Amy is talking about and doing exactly what I help women like you do. So let's get into this case study. Some key words that I want to talk about. Pivot. It's time to make a pivot. Earned elevation. Careful of impulse. Pivots. Good versus great. Crossroads. Expansion and evolution. I wanted to pick out these key words for you so that you could understand that this is what she's talking about. When I break it down into my empire framework, the path to becoming a time billionaire, she actually has been testing. So it was interesting because she mentioned that she wasn't sure if she would make as much money or have the consistent money that she was having, but she's already tested the Millie Club, her other club from $500,000 to $1 million. And now she's opening up her third one. So she's already kind of been testing this, which is very, very smart on Amy's side because she wanted to make sure that there was a demand for this and that she could actually make the money. Amy Porterfield, if you do not know her, she is extremely smart. Before she did DCA, she had her own agency a long time ago. So she is a very, very smart woman, very powerful in this industry and what she's created and all the people she's helped. I took her DCA course. I actually was in her membership program as well. She's phenomenal. So to do this case study for me, it's very exciting because when she's talking about making this pivot and this transition, what she's really talking about is income jumping. Now, she frames it originally as, hey, I might not make enough money. Now, I don't know her numbers, so I'm not going to pretend I do. But when I listen to this pivot, it is a form of income jumping. The reason I say that is because if she couldn't make as much money or more, she probably wouldn't be doing this move. She would be doing something else. I think this move lights her up more. Think about it this way. The income jump strategy, which I'm going to talk about in 1 second. A way to actually make it effortless is by using the audience you already have. If you think about Amy, she's been building this audience for 14 years. Now, what's happened to the people who started this 14 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago? I did her program 2 years ago. Think about how far along on their journey they are. So what she's doing now is she's actually tapping back in to her community, all the people she already has on her list, people who've already gone through DCA, who are already in her membership. Now she's saying, you're already at a different level. So she's looking at them and she's saying, well, they started over here. Amy is over here, right? Hi, Amy. She built that bridge for them to get over to her on this new pivot that she talks about. It's already there. She's just reaching in and pulling people out, which is super, super smart. So what is income jumping? Income jumping is looking at your business and saying, my current business is business A. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things in business A. I'm ready now to do something different. I don't want to completely disregard business A because it makes me a lot of money, but I want to income jump. Let's say I'm making $200,000 a year and I really want to get, let's say $500,000. That's actually a very reasonable jump, but how do I do that? I don't want to do more work. I don't want to create another brand new business. I don't want to throw more offers, more freebies, more all that. I just don't want to do it anymore. So what do we do? And this is what Amy's doing. She's coming in and she's looking at business A and she's saying, what are the 2 or 3 things that I can do exceptionally well and take into a new business? Well, I think I already have the audience for people who are making $1 million or more and want my help. I'm going to test that. I think that might work. I have an audience who are making $500,000 but are struggling to get $1 million, and they want to learn those tips and tricks and secrets. Okay, I can help them. I have the 150K people who are already making sales. They got things going on, but they want to figure out how to get to the 500K. I can do that. She picked out what she already knows. I am now going to pull these 3 things across. And she's actually talking about marketing. She's actually talking about copy. She's talking about all these things she actually has been talking about for a very long time. So she has not stepped out into a different field. She's just picked pieces that work with her business and who she already has to go to make the income jump. Now she's saying, instead of business A, I'm actually going to make this my new business, business B. The transition and the step from business A to business B is subtle. Now she's in business B. She's income jumping. Every time you do an income jump, you have the possibility of less income. And that was a word she talked about. Less income is very possible and can happen. And what happens when you're income jumping, and I just did this recently, is when you're pulling back and you're changing just even a little bit, you have a possibility that maybe it won't sell as much. Maybe people don't get it as much, right? Maybe you're not able to fill the room. It's just, there's so many variables that happen when you're income jumping. So the rule, what Amy did, which I love because this is what I teach, it's start. Remember I told you she tested and tested? She started with the Millie Club and ran a couple of those cycles on it. She's testing. Does it work? Is she going to make money at it? What can she do? Does she have the people? She's been testing all of these. And because of that, her income fluctuation is going to be lower than somebody like what I did. And this is something you have to kind of understand. So what I've done is I actually had a program. It was doing exceptionally well. Is that I was still in the beginning of it in the sense of it was only a year and a half. I have another business that makes a lot of money already. So I don't have to rely on this income. And so I shut it all down. If I had to rely on this income, I would have kept pushing on the course that I was selling way longer than I did to make sure that everything was fluid and moving before I did a jump. Now, if you have income set aside and you're like, I can live for 6 to 12 months if need be without any income, then just shifting like I did can work really well. So 18 months, I shut everything down. Being a time billionaire is the ultimate goal. So you'll have less income for just a little bit when you're income jumping. Not always, but you can. And so when she created business B and she jumped, I always say pick 2 or 3 categories you're currently doing now that work exceptionally well to pull over to business B. The rest gets discarded and you keep moving. These now 1, 3, 5 are the elements of our new business. She's still Amy Porterfield. She has just tweaked it slightly from what she's selling to what she's selling now, who she's selling to, but does she know her audience? Income jumping is one of those things that she talks about having a pivot and an impulse pivot. So I want to talk about this because I'm so happy she brought that up. When you make a pivot, there are impulse pivots where it's just like, what if I just quit YouTube and I just don't do it anymore? That would be an impulse pivot. Don't follow impulse pivots unless the impulse pivot makes sense. This is if you want to do income jumps, find a bigger problem to solve and you will have more money. So if you're doing $2,000 per person into your course, then we need to increase you up to $5,000 per person. And this is by picking a bigger problem to solve. Amy did the second element of it because she already saw the problem was there to solve, is that she taught everybody how to create the courses, but they're struggling with now how to grow the business. Her people were at the next stage. And so when you're doing income jumping, you start with the problem to solve and you make more money. Then we build out the jumps. And when we start looking at the jumps each time, we come to this business A B, and it keeps going. And I try not to do more than 3 jumps, max 5 jumps. So the jumps should be 3 to 5 jumps total to make the money, like the ultimate money that you want to make. That's the goal, okay? So it's not a let's ultimately be jumping consistently forever. Now, when you're income jumping, one of the biggest things, and this is what Amy talked about as well, when she was talking about expansion, evolution, when you're income jumping, you can't just jump all the time. When it comes to income jumping, let me be very clear. I talk about no more than 3 to 5 jumps to your ultimate payday that you want. Income jumping is not a let's do it every 6 months. When I help my clients, here's what we have to do. We have to look at the evolution of our people, the evolution of our business, the evolution of us, right? We have to say, is it the right time? Are our people ready? When I made my jump, the difference was I don't have all the people yet. And I knew I didn't have the people. But for me and what I was doing and the experience that I have being an entrepreneur for 20 plus years, selling over $100 million in sales, I know I didn't have the people. I'm okay with that because I know in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, I'll have more than enough people. Have you figured out how to solve your bigger problem in your sleep? Amy literally was like, I could sell courses in my sleep. Like she knew it inside and out, how to do it, what to do it, the marketing, the messaging. She knew it. So when I get to clients and they want to do this, we do not make another jump. We don't even talk about business C until they have solved this problem 100% and can do it in their sleep. And this is what I want you to understand, because there is something called time that actually makes everything work. You have to actually get comfortable with what you're selling. You have to be comfortable in fixing the problem. If you're not comfortable fixing the problem and what you're doing, you're going to jump. It sounds very weird, but you're going to jump into a pit of lava and your whole business is going to go up. I remember one of the Shark Tank guys talking, and somebody asked him how many people that you gave money to and you're partnered with are actually successful. And he was rattling off the numbers, and what I felt fascinating, he goes, yeah, but there's about 20 of them that don't know they're out of business, but are out of business. What does that mean? That means that they are sliding into a pit of lava and they don't see it coming because they're not paying attention to it, and they're struggling so hard to keep it going for whatever reason. So income jumping is not just the jumps, it is time to become great. And Amy talked about being great. She said the difference between good versus great, which we're going to get to in a minute. Now, I want to go into ecosystems that breathe. This has a lot to do with what Amy's building. Ecosystems that breathe are very fascinating beasts. I am not talking about your offers. Nope. I'm not talking about freebies or giveaways. Nope. The way I see of an ecosystem is really about what are you doing inside your business and how are you running it that makes it feel light. This can be your systems. This can be your support. This can be flow. I'll talk about flow in a second. You don't have to be like everyone else. The flow is super important because when I talk about flow is really very much of how does it feel for you? So just the other day, literally, I decided that I'm not going to be doing 2 YouTube videos a week. If you've been following me, you know that I took over my editing, and I woke up the other day and I was just like, I don't want to do this. I literally am spending half of every week just editing videos and creating videos, almost a whole week. And I have no time for creative. I have no time to work on my book. I have no time to sell the experience live in Nashville coming up at the end of February. I don't have time to promote these things because all I'm trying to do is create content and edit content. So I made an executive decision to get me into flow. I need to be able to be creative. And so I said, okay, I am just going to do 1 video a week. The relief was amazing. I can now get into flow. Effortless. Flow is how your business breathes. Now I can be really creative and think of different ways of amplifying something or doing something or building more connections. This is how we're building these ecosystems. So when you think of your business, it's more than just launches and offers and freebies. It's your systems, your backends. Are you looking at using the lazy principle? Are you thinking about how you can actually build this and maybe step away? I ask everybody, what is your exit strategy? And then the last question is, when? Because if you can't think about this, then your ecosystem you're building does not breathe. What I'm building right now, let's say in 5 years, I'm making $8 million on it. But how would I exit it? I most likely will have a team that runs it for me. I will have a CEO come in who manages everything. I will have managers, I'll have some staff, and then I will be almost like on the board where I'm still involved. I'm having conversations. I'm keeping it to where I think, but I'm not focused on the day-to-day activity. I'm not making the content. I'm not doing a lot of the other stuff. That's going to be maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, because I'm going to tell you, I'm so in love with this and what I'm building that I may stick around for a long time. But you need to think about, what is your exit strategy? When is that exit strategy? Are you building this business so it can breathe? If you do not have an ecosystem that breathes, you cannot ecosystem stack. Ecosystem stacking is interesting. This is actually where you're going to take a business and put it on another business. I have 3. So mine look like this. Now, one, I'm going to say it doesn't make me a ton of money, but it makes me a good 6 figures. And I don't really put any time into it. Like, really don't. This is a very passive business for me, but I'm involved. This one here makes me almost 7 figures. It's more work. I'm going to say it's like a medium involvement. And then this one is what I'm building right now. And I'm going to say I'm at 5 figures on this one. This one's not making a lot because I pivoted everything. But I'm at 5 figures on this one with the goal to hit $10 million. This one has my greatest potential to make me the most amount of money with the least amount of work. Okay. And it brings me true joy. Now, this one will continue to just run, and I'm going to actually be building it more and more. It's already kind of happening. This one here, I'm okay leaving it at this mark. I don't really feel like I need to expand it anymore. However, my amazing husband has mentioned you could bring in some more people and have them run in, then you don't have to put so much effort and you'll make more money. We'll see how it happens there, but it has the potential. If you don't have ecosystems that actually breathe, then what happens is they feel really heavy. And they almost feel like they're just smushed on top. It feels like it's pushing down on you. I'm going to tell you right now, if they do not breathe, you cannot have 3 businesses to run as one person. I literally run these businesses. Now, my husband helps me a little bit on this one, not a ton. I'm actually doing a big project in this one, and I'm like, honey, I need help. It's been a little overwhelming on this one because I'm doing a really big project, and then we're taking this big project and we're amplifying it into 4 little projects. I'm really big in income jumping. So I'm taking some income that I have, I'm reworking it, making it really fancy, I'm getting rid of it, and then I'm gonna go buy some other things to make me even more income. Isn't that kind of cool? So I'm income jumping in this business right here. This one here, like I said, I'm kind of hanging. But if this one didn't breathe, and this one didn't breathe, and this one didn't breathe, I could not work on them. This is why most entrepreneurs you talk to have 1 business, maybe 2. They can't get them to breathe. They can't stack them. So we need to make sure that our ecosystem breathes. We need to make sure that it is effortless and easy. It's really important. Now, let's talk about good to great. It's really a cool thing. So Amy talked about this, and she said she felt like everything she was doing was good. Like it was moving. So when I hear the word good, I associate good with what? Good to me equals consistent sales, comfortable, consistent sales and comfortable. Okay, I'm going to put a little pause here for Amy because go Amy, she's amazing. She has consistent sales, but every year I've been listening to her, she's jumped up a little, almost like if you were to look at it like this, she kind of almost goes up a little each time she sells something, which is really cool. So she's been slowly growing, and I'm sure that's getting harder and harder to do because there is a point in a business where when you're trying to grow it, that it just almost flatlines. Like you're pushing to grow up a business like this when you're looking at the lines. The problem is at a certain point, it just flatlines because it's really hard to get new people, more people. You already have so much cranking out that this is where that consistent gets until you income jump. When you income jump, this is how you now build a new graph and you start going higher again. So this is the understanding. So when she says it was good, that means it was consistent, it was comfortable, but she wants to do something different. She wants to be great. She wants to feel alive again. This is the biggest flaw that I see with women who have a business and have consistent sales. It feels fine. It's just going. You're turning. It's like you can do it in your sleep, like we talked about. It's so easy. But then at a certain point, you're hating Mondays. You're just like, I don't want to show up anymore. You're like, oh, I don't want to work with those people anymore. Like it keeps coming up. And this is where we need to be great. This is where we make that change to great. Great is new. It's exciting, right? We want all these things to be able to amplify that. And so if it's new, it's great, it's exciting. And then we're taking it and we're jumping. We're pivoting per Amy's words, jumping per Christina's words. We're jumping. We're making a change. We're building an ecosystem that breathes. We're going to start stacking our ecosystems once we learn how to get it to breathe and we have more time. Stacy Tuschel, she's really good. So Stacy Tuschel talks about how she has a dance studio, makes really good money off the dance studio, but then she also has her coaching business where she's teaching entrepreneurs on how they can actually step back from the day to day, and she's more system oriented and how to make it, well oiled. So she's able to stack the two because the first one she has almost runs itself. She doesn't need to be involved in the day-to-day activity. This is what we're building. This is where we have to start. So to go back to Amy and all the amazing stuff she's doing, she talked about the good versus great. She talked about being at the crossroads. This is a big thing you're going to feel when you're ready for income jumps. When you're with someone like me, this is what I do. This is what I teach all day long. People who know what they're doing, who've done it, who taught it. This is their path because I could tell you if it's right for you right now. I can say maybe it's not right, but if we just utilize some tax strategies, I can get you $120,000 tax-free right now. It injects your business with some cash flow or your personal life with cash flow. Take that pressure off. Let's get that bigger problem solved in our sleep, so that we have that time and we can jump when it's right. This is when you have the expert who's going to show you how to do this. This is what I do. So Amy has amazing coaches. I don't know who her coaches are, but I know they're amazing because she has grown and she has done fantastic. So when you're at the crossroads and you're feeling ready to make this jump, this is where being in like the House of Cortesa or coming to the experience live in Nashville with me, which is happening at the end of February. So get your seat. I'll put the link below. We're actually doing concepts like this and real case studies to teach you how to do this in a day. It's a 1.5-day event where in a whole day, you're working hard. You're going to sit next to the right people so you have introductions. It's all curated. The whole experience is set around them because when you buy your ticket, you're actually sent a form to fill out. So I know all about you, your business, your struggles, and everybody does that. Then I'm creating tables based on the people in the room. So the people you're sitting with are the people you need to be with, which is really cool. Then at the end of the day, we're actually going to work on our business where I come around and I help you see different things in your business. Can you income jump now? Can you trade something? Are we ready for business B or C or D? What are we doing? Where are we at? And you're going to get a 5% jump in your business no matter what. Then in the evening, we're having a celebration dinner if you stay for the full experience. And that is going to be just fun. Go around our wins and just who we are as women. we created these businesses that are freaking amazing, and we're going to celebrate it because we don't do it enough. Then anybody who wants to hang out afterwards, we can keep the party going. Then the next morning we are going to do brunch. And this is really going to be where, one, you meet more people. I'm going to make introductions, whoever would help you as an affiliate or partner, advisor, anybody who could help you grow your business faster. I'm going to make those connections. And then we're going to sit down, and this is where we're really going to brain dump. We learn things that came to us overnight, make little notes about what we want to do through a brunch, and just have a very casual time of, this is important. And you're going to walk away with everything solidified because you took that time to really work on it, learn it, right? Apply it, celebrate it, and then come back with a fresh mind of, wow, look at all this stuff I did. So come for the experience live in Nashville. It's February 25th and 26th if you stay for the full experience. But this is what I teach. So crossroads are important to know. Expansion only comes when you're ready for expansion. You don't want to expand too early, and you don't want to expand too late. Too late means you missed the curve. Too early means you missed the curve. That's what I did with Off Logic, a tech startup I created, I think about 18 years ago. And you know how you get those little text codes every time you log into your bank, into your email, PayPal, all of them? Well, we created that. However, we were way ahead of the curve. And when we went to VC funding, they were like, this is stupid. Nobody's going to do it. I'm sitting here telling them, no, you're going to have this little device, and this device is going to give you a one-time code, and you'll just punch it in with your PIN number when you go to the grocery store. And the VCs were like, it's a great concept, but no one's going to ever do it. And then we ran out of money to actually get it patented. So we started patenting it, didn't have the money, had to close it up, and here we are today. Everybody uses it. So you have to think about, are you ahead of the curve, behind the curve, or right on time? This is somebody like me who has this experience, can actually sit down and see, is this right? Is this not? And that's why I'm an advisory to people. I'm not your coach, I'm your advisor. I'm going to sit down and look at everything and have discussions with you and help you. So earned elevation, she had her way of looking at earned elevation. I look at earned elevation as the same thing with the expansion and the evolution. Is it the right time? Did you earn the right to move to this? Are you ready for this? Does business A, can you see where business B can grow off of it? Did you pick a problem that you can solve in your sleep? Do you know what the next problem is? Are you aware enough to say, here's the next problem my people already have? And that's going to help you understand that you've earned that evolution. It's there, it's ready. So I think what Amy Porterfield is doing is fantastic. I know it's a huge leap for her. I'm so proud of her in the sense that it's a big jump for anyone to do that, especially someone who has a business that has been running so efficiently for so long. It's a scary, scary step because you know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know when you have a business like that. And to step back and say, I'm going to take this chance and I'm going to income jump, right? Pivot per Amy. And I'm going to do this instead is fantastic. And this is where you have to go to become a time billionaire. This is where it all starts. You need to be able to income jump. You need to build an ecosystem that breathes. Then you need to build ecosystems that stack. Then you're building an empire. When you have an empire and you have money coming in from a lot of places where you do not need to rely on one business to fund your lifestyle, this is what the elite does, the ultra wealthy. Do you think that the actors and actresses just do 1 or 2 movies and they're multimillionaires? No. Right? The people who do that are poor. You spend it, you're done. The ones who are uberly wealthy in the industry are the people who are the producers, who get the income per movie that they do, right? That they're producing. Look at the Kardashians. They're a great example. They have their show on Hulu. That's not the only thing they have. They have makeup, clothing. I think Chloe just did popcorn. I mean, they all have multiple businesses that they're running. And yes, they have lots of staff. Yes, they have a lot of money to do a lot of things with it, but they earned that. They were able to do it by earning it. And they're in there building and building. And I don't know if they would be able to keep, because I don't know the Kardashians' finances in any way. But the question would be, if they stepped away from the spotlight and they just kind of were a little more passive, just on social media and just kind of showing up here and there, but they didn't have the show and they didn't have this other stuff, could they still keep their billions and their multi-millions? That's like the question. I think they could. And I think their mom, Kris Jenner, who is so smart, one day I would love to interview her. I'm sure she's setting them up where this would be the case, because she knows, she has that foresight to know that if they don't, you can spend all that money very fast and have no money at all. And that's a big understanding. So that was the case study on Amy Porterfield. That is explaining exactly what I'm doing. She is doing it. She's income jumping, which is her pivot. She's building an ecosystem that breathes. She's stepping from business A to business B, all within the same ecosystem to ensure that it's almost seamless in what she's doing. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about income jumping, ecosystem stacking, any of that, feel free to leave me a comment below. I will answer them. And then if you're interested in the House of Cortesa, the private business society for women that I am building, where you will come in and be with women who are doing the exact same thing you want to do, then click the link below, get on the wait list. I'm going to be having an open house here in a few weeks where you can learn all about it, interact with me, and see if it's right for you. If you want to come and get a 5% jump in your business, you're like, I just want to experience this right now, Christina, then you want to come to the Experience Live in Nashville. This is where you are going to get a 5% jump. You're going to get a curated atmosphere event. This is not heads talking on stage. No, I do not like those events. This is real work, real introductions, real affiliates, partners, whatever you need for your business. It's here, and the room is going to be curated to you and everybody else in it. So I don't know what we're going to talk about yet until I see the people who come in the room, but I will tell you this: you will get a 5% jump in your business. You will understand income jumping. We'll talk about the strategies. You'll understand ecosystems that breathe. We're going to talk about Time Billionaire. We're going to talk about all this stuff so that you can go the next day and your business is already 5% bigger and better than it was before. Thank you for joining me. I will see you on the next video right now.